off you go.
Okay, so our product of choice to advertise for our demographic, which was males aged 35 to 44, is a Fitbit type device, which shows statistics while exercising, such as heart rate, miles run, and heart rate and statistics like that. So kind of like, and the whole appeal behind this these devices is that when somebody's exercising and they look down at this device here on their wrist, they kind of like, they see like how well they're doing, and it kind of like strives them to go a bit more forward to see like if they're a bit behind or what they usually are able to reach. So we chose this product because the age demographic, there's been like this huge trend at the moment of specifically this age demographic going out exercising, and most often they buy these devices to help them, assist them with it.
So for the ADA, we it was awareness, because the advert was it has a it will focus on the concept of getting others involved in the hobby, which will encourage people to do the same in their life, and then that will then make it so that less people are just sitting on the couch and doing spending no time doing anything. And then interest, the advert will be dramatic, loud breathing, inspirational narration, slow motion, maybe black and white to capture its audience's attention. Also, while the product will be often seen throughout the advert, so while the product will be often seen through the advert, it won't be the main focus, because we want the main focus to be the actual sport and hobby of running, because then it will then make more people want to do that sport, and then through wanting them to do that sport, they'll then want to try and get one of these to then assist them with that, because it will make it easier and better for the experience for them.
Okay, so how this whole trend started, or specifically this age demographic going into it, and I've asked my father about this as well, because I kind of had this theory, and he confirmed it for me. It's kind of like there's a worry in this age demographic about becoming too old and not being able to be physically active anymore, and so people are going out to kind of like prove it to themselves that they're still physically active and they can still go out and run, and so we're going to capitalise this on our advert by kind of like pushing it forward with this narration, like it's not too late to get out there and you can still go out there and run and exercise, and it's not too late. And hopefully the action that our audience will go for is that they take up exercise, get out there, and of course they'll need this product to assist them with it.
We intend to air this advert on the television channel Sky Atlantic at 9, because this is the time when most people in this age range will be watching TV, and it's a commonly watched TV channel across the UK, and obviously it will also be put onto YouTube, because that's also another bit place where quite a few people will go onto it. It'll be seen on there. And it'll be put on the Fitbit channel, on the Fitbit YouTube channel, where they put a lot of adverts and inspirational videos at the moment. So, yeah.
Okay, so the leading company with these products is Fitbit, but the main competitor, if you research it, is this company called Garmin. And what's different about and searching up Garmin online, one of the first kind of articles to come up is this news article where they go through how they pride themselves on using pathos, the use of emotions to persuade in their advertisements, and so they always kind of like push forward this kind of like inspirational kind of the the main kind of like push forward in all their advertising campaigns is to inspire their audience, because they believe that emotions work best over kind of like facts. And so if you look at their YouTube channel, most of their adverts are kind of like the thumbnails will be like forests and such, because they always have these adverts of people exercising with like narration, which we're kind of like magpieing from here to kind of like push forward, because it seems to be working well for them.
Good.
And this is the project proposal and the plan thing.
Plan for the week. Okay.
And then that's it.
Okay. Cool. Right. So, a couple of quick questions. I think you clearly show an understanding of who your target audience is. Your whole analysis of 35 to 44-year-olds in terms of starting to be aware that their bodies aren't quite as youthful as they used to be, I think you're spot on there.
Thank you.
I think the one thing that you might need to think about is what your purpose is, because you are selling a product. At the end of the day, that's your job.
Yes.
Okay, as advertisers, you are selling a product. But I think, from the way that you were talking, Sterling, that you're trying to sell the sports rather than the product. Yeah, because you kind of said about the fact of you didn't want it to be the main focus of it. You kind of want to encourage them to do more sports, and then maybe, possibly buy the Fitbit. You don't want that. You want them to buy the Fitbit and then get involved in the sports. Saying that, I think the idea of having lots of sports being played, lots of different sports being played, and showing that Fitbit is part of every sport and can be a tool used by every sportsman, I think that's a brilliant approach to it. I think that's where you need to be going. So I think you just need that little readjustment in terms of don't focus on trying to sell the sports, sell the product as being it's a necessity within the sport. Whether you play football, whether you play ice hockey, your Fitbit can easily be worn. It can measure the heart rate, can measure all the things. So you're almost showing people how it can support you if you do any of those sports. I think that's more of the way forward. Okay, so what sort of locations are you thinking of shooting in?
Okay, initially we're planning to start out the advert with a character sitting at home and on the couch, kind of like looking around, bored, and then we're going to quickly flick through somebody at work in a similar situation. Then we're kind of going to snap quickly to various shots of them all getting up, grabbing the Fitbit. And so we're going to go around interiors, maybe like our houses, maybe kind of like switch around rooms to kind of get that idea around. And the rest of the advert will be set outside. It will be outside where exercise is done. So I've got a park nearby my house, which will become good use. Admiral. So it's a rather large park with lots of different locations. There's a outside little gym, and there's large fields, perfect for like shooting, running.
Right.
So yeah, I think that'll come in good use. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Do you think that setting it inside is? I mean, we talked about it being involved in sports and bits. Do you think them sitting indoors distracts from actually them playing the sports and using it within lots of different sports?
The idea is the inside part is supposed to be very, very quick. It's supposed to be a setup. It's supposed to contrast very differently between just sitting at home and going outside. And so the idea is kind of like it establishes that sitting down and doing nothing it's bad.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, alright. So, what sort of sports have you got? You said about running, you said about football.
Yeah.
Is there any other sports that you're going to include?
Well, I have a cycling park near where I live, so
Nice.
I was thinking that we to do that. So, obviously shoot someone going down doing mountain biking and stuff.
Cool. And make sure when you shoot it that you want a wide shot to establish what they're doing, but you also want the close-up shots of them wearing the Fitbit and using the Fitbit. So almost kind of shots like on the mountain bike, you see him running down, you see have a close up of it on his wrist as he's riding his bike, and then you've got a shot of him sitting on his bike, looking and checking his stats on his Fitbit, kind of thing. So you need to make sure you've got those nice little close ups of them using the product as well. Casting. Who are you casting within this?
We haven't considered that yet. We haven't thought about that.
Okay.
I mean, I reckon I could get my dad in because he does, like, he's a personal trainer. He does sports for like a living.
Okay.
So that would be quite easy to like get him.
What age bracket does he fit into?
He fits in the age bracket.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes, he's exactly the sort of person you want. Someone who's fit, healthy. Because again, that whole desire aspect of it, it's a case of look at him, perfect specimen of a man of that age, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I want to be like him.
Okay.
Kind of thing, yeah. So he would be perfect bit of casting for you. Okay. I think you've answered all my questions. Who's cinematographer? Just double check.
Ah, that's me here.
That's you.
Yes.
So cinematographer, editor.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. I have no more questions. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank
Really
you.
good.
Yeah.